thought at Princeton Future, let's just make sure the community gets their views heard. So we've got a little flyer that goes out that says, what are your main concerns about Princeton for the future? What are your goals? What would you like to see? And we've got a total blank slate. We didn't put down any kind of select any one of these things. We want your opinion from your mind, not influenced by our predetermined choices. So we want to send that out to you at the end, and then we want to also take this walk, and along the way I'm going to point out a few little things that are just food for thought, and when we get to lily pies we can talk more about it, or later in email exchanges, whatever, we can talk more. But there are a couple of interesting little town planning things that come to mind as we make this walk. So we're going to walk over this way and then down this through the Santander Park Plaza and down into this parking lot en route to the shopping center. Anyhow, welcome and thanks so much for everybody coming. Here is a parking lot, and this is a privately owned parking lot. The town owns part of that parking up there. You see an entrance to the parking off of Moore Street. If you were to connect over to this one, you can see an entrance by the church on Van Deventer Street. There's one entrance here, and then there's the entrance and exit, and then there's two more down there at that municipal lot onto Park Place. So basically, we've got, if this lot were extended, and you've seen this happen behind the stores in Lawrenceville. I don't know if you're familiar with Acacia and all that. They've done that. They've had all the parking lots linked together. They've done the same thing in Kingston, behind the old Good Time Charlie's. If we did it here, and if we were to do it here, we would have one big parking lot with 5 entrances and exits. Now, what if we took a couple of those entrances and exits away on Park Place and fronted it instead with housing? And maybe some townhouses, maybe even throw in an affordable unit, semi-affordable anyhow. But we'd have more housing on Park Place, we'd have fewer cavities to look at, and we'd also still have all this parking back here. So that's just something, and it turns out, Princeton Future has kicked this idea around, Sheldon, years ago. And just in the last 3 or 4 months, the town has announced they're doing a survey of all this space to figure out who owns what. A walkway that goes behind the Garden Theater and behind those stores on Nassau Street, all the way over to Witherspoon. Then you can cut over and go through the Alchemist and Barrister Alley, up through the Nassau Inn area, and all the way over to Chambers Street.
This entire parking lot could be, we're standing on sloping ground. If this were level, and you built a deck level with Nassau Street, you'd have 2 levels of parking, literally double the amount of parking that's here.
All right. On Franklin Avenue, the town's mandated to put in 80 units of affordable housing there. Can't do anything about it. And some of us, in a meeting of Princeton Future a couple of years ago, a lot of people showed up and said, don't put 80 units there, put 160, and make sure that the affordable housing is mixed in with market rate housing, and make it so that you don't know. You're just you're in the housing. It doesn't matter whether you're affordable or not affordable. In any case, 50 units per acre is what it would come out to. It's a 3 1/3 acre plot. 50 units would come up to 160. And people thought, oh my God, 50 units, that's so much, that's so terrible. Who could live next to that? And I thought, yeah, they got a point. I mean, it sounds scary. Joel Schwartz here pointed out to me that there's a brick apartment complex on Prospect Avenue next to Murray Place. Courtyard style thing. It's 37 units. It works out to 50 units per acre. And that's 55 units per acre. And it's not terrible, and it's not scary, and you walk by it all the time and you don't think twice. So in any case, I started looking around for other examples, and this is my house right here. And I thought, where else is there a development that's 50 units per acre? Well, it's right here. It's right next door to me.
I can sell you one of the condos.
And
we have the keys.
They have
right now.
They have. There you go. They're ready to sell it today. So that is 7 units, and it's on about 1 1/12 of an acre, I think, or whatever it is, or 1/8 of an acre or something. It works out to just a little over 50 units per acre. It's got 7 units, it's got 6 parking spaces. It doesn't have a parking space for every car. People are able to do it. How about that? And just imagine if it were cut in half, because everybody said 50 is too much. Make it 25. Well, cut it in half, and what do you have? You still have the same house. You got a little more room for parking. It doesn't change the scale or dynamics of it much at all. Watch out for cars here, everybody. So anyhow, that's our lesson in density. Density is not a scary thing. So now we're going to go down this private alley here. Down here and turn a left, and then head over into Westminster and reconvene at the nice little courtyard there. And I think we want to get everybody's opinion of what that should become.
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, what should that become? It's gorgeous space. All right. This was Westminster Choir College, and this is the heart of the campus. A lot of people don't ever get into this part because you drive by on Hamilton, you see the wonderful front lawn and the building from the other side. But here we are, this quiet little enclave right in the heart of Princeton, density and all that. And this really resembles an Ivy League college, like when you go to Columbia, when you're in the middle of the city and you suddenly come on Columbia, or at Oxford and the colleges at Oxford, all busy streets, and you suddenly walk into a courtyard that expands the horizon. But anyhow, Westminster has gone to Lawrence Township, Route 206, Rider College, Rider University. So Rider's got its own problems. Rider would love to sell this. Now it's private property, they can sell it to anybody they want, but the town can influence them, I think, by saying this is what we'd like to see and these are the people we're going to work with. So the question for all of you is, what should this become?
A school.
We have a school here from Daniel. Any other, just something to think about as we go along. We don't need an immediate answer, but could it be housing? Joel
Yeah, it's going to
Schwartz.
be housing.
It's going to be.
And
Tony.
Ryder is going to keep part of the property,
Ryder would
the
like-
theater. They're going to keep about 5 acres.
Okay.
Yeah. And the rest, the plan is housing with an element of affordability, keeping the center square open,
Keep this.
making it like a town, let it feel like a university, a little bit of Maryland and all. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
But as everybody knows, Ryder's in the middle of a major lawsuit. They're being sued by the students. There's 5 lawsuits going on.
Yeah,
About
So-
Westminster students?
Westminster is one of them, and there's about 5 major lawsuits against them right now. So until that ever gets settled, the next step will happen.
Yeah.
But the plans are in work for what it should be.
Yeah, who's behind those plans, Tony, do you know?
There's a couple of, we can't talk about it, but there's some local developers and builders that are involved.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and they're gonna keep these main buildings, make some of that a little bit commercial, set up some townships here. It's really exciting.
Yeah, that sounds,
Yeah, if they get past the lawsuits.
yeah, yeah.
Therein lies the problem.
And meanwhile, as you walk up here a little further, you'll see Princeton High School off to the left as we walk up. And on the other part of the Westminster campus, there are the old dorms that maybe aren't worth saving. And the high school is going to have to expand sooner or later. There's another round of affordable housing that's going to hit starting in 2025. We think we've absorbed all the new people we can take, but the court says no, you can't put the gates up around yourself yet. You got to let people move in. So
Well, there was conversation about the schools buying.
I think the school must be looking at some of this property
Yeah,
up here.
I mean, they talked about closing Walnut and making this a big campus.
Or we've seen a little schematic that shows an overpass over Walnut that leads to the school, to another section of the school on the other side. Who knows?
There's a lot of traffic on this road in the morning.
Well, and I noticed they closed down Walnut Street.
Yeah, they do. Now they
when
close.
when the school buses come at the end of the day, Walnut is closed.
My hopes to see a safe environment for cyclists. My son is cycling to school every day and he goes to the charter school, and I know he's going to cycle to the high school. I just wanted to be safer for cyclists and pedestrians around here. The street that we walked across on Moore Street in Hamilton, that is a show and a half. When our guy Greg, who's normally the crossing guard, isn't there, it's hard to cross. I just love to see safer pedestrian crossings, even if it's lights flashing, to help the motorists understand we're here. Please don't speed by. And those are the two real things I'd love to be able to see, because I live in town, I walk everywhere, and I love it. To be able to walk everywhere is wonderful. I'd also love to be able to see the high school use a little bit of the former Westminster Choir College. And it was fascinating seeing Rich talk and hearing more things. Thank you.
By the time I grow up, I hope Princeton can become like not a city, but essentially like a large town, a small like community. But also like Nassau Street, you know they're building a hotel there. I hope like we can attract more visitors, build new shops, stuff like that.
I'm Frida Howard, live on Horner Lane, And what enticed me to come out, well, I'm a walker, so we walk a lot. And when I saw that there was an opportunity to walk the town and meet townspeople, it seemed interesting. When it comes to Princeton future, well, I think I'll observe and give opinions and comments as the need arise. You know, I would love to see more protected bicycle lanes. I love when they draw these little lines in the road and say there's a bike lane. It's not protected at all, and it's very dangerous for our kids. I'd like to see little new connected paths within Princeton so that, you know, people can do a lot of walking more efficiently. And like I said, as things arise, I'll have an opinion, I'm sure.
I'm Jim Harford, and I was born here, and I left in '73 and spent 30 years in Manhattan, only to come back here to help with my parents. And I've witnessed many things. I was involved with the argument when the town split from the borough to the township with the Dinky station. That was a heartbreaker for me. I didn't realize how important a mayor is to stay active. The call to keep the Dinky in location was disrespected, in my opinion, and I think it still hurts in the theory of a walkable community. I think Princeton has always been a walkable community. I think the campus is a model for of an ideal living, dwelling situation for walkable situations, and I think it should be the influencer of many, many other towns.
Hello, my name is Victor Filion, a lifetime resident of Princeton. So I came out today to engage with other citizens and find some other way to connect with them walking through town. And of course I support the conscious effort to get involved in the planning aspect of development in town, and always have a great time meeting new people from all over walks of life, including Jim here next to me, who turns out to be connected from an old life, and it's always a fun time, and I enjoy it very much. Biggest concern, I guess, and this is not necessarily an unexpected disappointment, I've seen this coming for a long time, but as Jim and I were talking about the drastic unaffordability of housing in Princeton from a purchase standpoint, and also even from a renting standpoint. It's just very high, and the rents and purchase prices are so high that anyone but the very rich are priced out, and that's an unfortunate testament to diversity, which is always the goal.
I'm a little concerned about the amount of rentals we're building in this township. There's almost no for sale condos that are going on the market. And I just hope that we continue the advent that Marina started with ADUs, which has kind of been blown out of the water a little bit. I think the township people have said they thought it was going to be very inexpensive housing, but you can't build very inexpensive housing.
The land is too expensive.
It's a town that we need missing middle housing, which is $600,000 to $800,000 brand new housing. It just doesn't exist.
No.
And the way prices are today, I don't know if it ever will exist. Other than that, it's a great town, and we're proud to be here.
I hope we do things that promote walkability. I hope we do things that promote affordability and sustainability.
The idea that that group of people that serve the town could live here at 30% of their income. Is that a possibility?
You build an apartment in Princeton, and the market will rent a one-bedroom apartment for $3,000 or $4,000, depending. Build the same apartment in many other towns that are very nice places to live. The rent is half that. It's $1,800, $1,900.
At the Nelson Glass House, that top unit is $7,000.
That's right, and the one bedrooms are going for $3,000 and $4,000. So, you know, if if you could buy the rents down, if you had apartments that rented for $2,000, some people could afford it, some people couldn't. Right? Then it becomes a matter. If you can afford it, it becomes a matter of discretion. Do you want to pay $2,000 a month rent, or do you want to live 20 minutes drive from here and pay less? The only thing that a town can do to help is to give a density bonus for a certain type of project. But on any of these projects, the land cost, right, the density bonus relates to the cost of the land. And the land is, on multifamily, is about 20 or 25% of the project cost. So if you get a 20% density bonus, then you're saving 20% of 20%. Right, so you're saving 15% of the project cost. Is 15% significant? Yes. Is it enough to make a $4,000 unit a $2,000 unit? No. The university could be a source of money. I happen to agree with you. I think they could and should do things. An interesting model is what happened here in 1938 when Mr. Lambert funded the first 10 units of affordable housing. It was imperfect, as we both know, but what made it work is he said, I will write my own check, and I'm willing to wait 25 or 30 years to get my money back because it's the right thing. So,
well, I think something like that. And I think the trade-off for the community is that retired faculty could be part of the people that would have access to that housing.